I'm here with artist Tammy Honaman, and she's been showing us the fundamentals of beading and jewelry making all season. And today we're going to be talking about looming. Just take a look at these gorgeous examples. These are beautiful, Tammy.
Thank you. It's so fun to do any design up on a loom, any pattern.
Yeah, you can draw in some Art Deco, you can use some different graphics that look sort of like graffiti. I mean, there are all kinds of ways that you can bring your artistic inspiration into the loom work.
Absolutely.
And there are also different kinds of looms.
Oh, there's so many looms available to us as jewelry makers, and even if you wanted to weave fibers and then make them into jewelry.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. So you could use a tabletop loom, you can use a portable loom. Doesn't really matter what equipment you're using, right?
Nope. Not
okay,
at all.
So where shall we begin?
So let's just go over the fundamentals of looming just to kind of reorient everybody to where we are. And this is just one style of loom. It'll come to you nice and collapsed. It's portable. Whichever loom you're using, you'll just warp it up to whatever your pattern requires.
And the warp is the threads that go from end to end.
Correct. And then here we've added our weft, which is the one that then brings your beadwork into the warps.
Okay.
And you just start weaving your beads in according to your pattern, and then you complete your piece.
The one thing that I didn't understand when I started looming is that you have to press it up from the bottom and then run your needle along through the top.
That's correct. So it's almost like your thread is locking your beads in. So it passes underneath the warp threads, and then it passes above.
Right, so you're back and forth, under, over.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Cool, and you have some other ideas for how to embellish it.
Yes, because then you can just add and keep going with your beadwork. So just a basic loom woven bracelet. It doesn't have to be all the same color, any color you want. But then you can add some different types of stitches onto your loom work. And so here, we'll start with just adding like a simple button. You know, you just would weave up into your button, or you can do the stop stitch, which, you know, is really very fundamental. So we're just going to pick up these cute little O beads. And then so you've got, it's called a stop stitch because that bead stops your stitch from coming out.
Okay.
So we'll just weave underneath through the next bead in the pattern, through the bead so that you're positioned, and then it'll just lock that right into place.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you can do the same thing with the sequence. So we'll pick up a sequence. It's, you know, basically the same thing as that O bead. Pick up a stop bead to keep the sequin in place. And then you don't weave back through that stop bead. You go through the whole of the sequin.
Right.
And
it doesn't matter where you do this on the top surface of your bracelet, right?
No, you could do every bead if you want, or if you really, that's too labor intensive, just do it on the ends.
How long would you say a loom work bracelet takes if it's unembellished?
Just a couple of hours. Once you get it set up, it's pretty easy to just boop, 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 follow your pattern.
And the bigger the beads, the faster it goes, right?
Yes.
I like to loom with number 8s, personally.
I like to loom with number 8s too. And then here, this fringe bead is a really nice addition to your piece. So here, I'm just gonna, what you wanna do is kind of hide your threads, which I'm probably not gonna be doing here, but so to do this little fringe branch, you just stitch on a few beads, and it could be any length. You know, when I'm creating a design, I try to make it so that the piece isn't gonna have too much extraneous so that it doesn't get caught on something.
That makes sense.
So you just want to keep that in mind. And then again, kind of like the stop bead, you're just going to go right back up all of the other beads except for that last one.
Right.
And go back into the bead in your base that you started with. And then it gets locked into place.
Nice.
Yeah, without the other, there you go. And you can just use that if you want, or you can do something like this one where you're branching out and you use your stop bead to create that circle and then go back into your base.
Smart.
And then this, I love the branch, the coral branch. That's, I think it looks like coral.
Oh, so you just use the same fringing technique, but more beads.
And, yep, and you just kind of weave through each of the beads that's in your branch.
Nice. Well, let's take a quick look at the fringy piece that you have there with the coral branches on your sequin piece. Yeah. The sequins are all, man, that must have taken forever.
That did take a long time.
It looks great. Well, thanks so much for these ideas, Tammy.
You're welcome. My pleasure.